Thanks for staying with us now. Nigerian fashion has always been distinct, statement making, and very defining. Now a forerunner in not just Africa but all over the world, the Nigerian fashion industry has undergone several changes over the years and decades, reinventing itself, taking part of the old and mixing it with the new, yet retaining its distinctive allure and flavor. Nigeria is not only known for its many fashion textiles and garment pieces that are distinct to her culture, she also birthed many fashion designers who have developed many techniques and businesses along the way. Now, what ways do you think we can change the face of fashion in Nigeria to even better, to a better place than where we are right now? Now, please, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation, send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 1-803-84663. All right, ladies, you are the fashionistas actually on this set. What's your money?
We're trying.
What a way to bring you people up on a fashion day show. But tell me, if you were to describe where we are, I think fashion is one of the biggest things happening for us as a country.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, fashion and music.
No, fashion and music, yeah.
So tell us your experience and how do you think where we are now?
So I think for me, the biggest shift was when growing up in Nigeria, there was always this thing about the people who came from abroad, like the gendered people. Mm-hmm. You could tell what they were wearing was not Nigerian and all of that. And then there was the trajectory for me, the way I saw it was then there was this influx of nicer clothes coming through the bend down boutique and all of that. Mm-hmm. And that's where people then used to try to shine and compete. But where the real shift happened for me, and I think that part of that comes from the transition we had into a very rich and healthy celebrity culture, was that people started off with, what are you hearing? And you would hear Gucci, Fendi, Prada. Mm-hmm. And the shifts for me started to happen on red carpets. So you would have interviews happening and then you would hear, oh no, what Tiffany are you wearing? Amber. And you hear Tiffany Amber. You started to hear, Silver. You started to hear all these brands. And it felt like, of course, as social media also happened, right? Yeah. With Instagram, where we became more visual in the things that we were looking at. It created that channel. So Buy Nigerian was a murmur, it was a whisper. And then it became
louder and louder.
So now it would sound ridiculous for you to go to the AMVCs, for example, and they ask you what you're wearing, and you say you're wearing Fendi.
Thank you.
So exactly, Fendi Q there. So that shift for me, I think, was what I started to see.
Say that?
She said it wasn't me, guys. But, I just gave it volume. But the truth was, that was the shift. So we became proud to wear Nigerian. And the key shift for me, personally, because I was that person, again, times have changed. I used to stock up. I have big feet. And, people like to call onion purple or something green. I don't know what all these colors are, but help me. That's what you see on wedding invitations, right? So I used to have all these, I used to stock suitcases of clothes so that I always had something to fit into whatever was called or shoes or whatever. I was never comfortable buying Nigerian, not because I didn't like we all did the Ankara, sewing of Ankara, but everything else.
So now do you buy Nigerian shoes?
So you would just ask, I buy Nigerian everything.
Really?
So I buy Nigerian shoes, I buy Nigerian. In fact, we were just talking today and I was saying before the show how when I travel, I just want to buy makeup or cosmetics.
And that's all.
I said, you don't buy clothes. I'm like, why? I will come to Nigeria and I will buy everything I'm wearing. What I'm wearing now is by Nigeria. It's Nigerian.
This is Nigeria.
Exactly.
You guys are popping.
Hey, Valerie Black. But, so the quality has improved. The options, just type dress on Instagram.
You'll be lost.
Inundated.
You'll be lost.
So we've come a long way, and I have to say kudos to the industry. I'm all for it. All for it.
How are you, Manny?
Yeah, I'm good. So for me, I'm really into fashion, and like Uti said, it's just like our hair relaxers. We used to have these relaxers coming from abroad. I think there was Dark and Lovely. So we used relaxers that were not good for our hair type. So now there's fashion we now have the people who know our style.
Our bodies.
Our bodies. You know, make our
fabric.
clothes, our fabric, make what we want to see, what we want to wear. So now, of course, it's more interesting because you have all these people doing a lot of things. And then we look at what it's doing to our economy or for our economy.
Absolutely.
So we can't look at only the beautiful part of it without looking at how it's impacting on our economy.
Absolutely.
So for me, I just think it's a very big thing, a very big leap, and kudos to everyone that has made this happen.
I'm telling you, if you want to just know how the fashion industry is going, go on Instagram. I mean, Rita Dominic had a wedding recently. You could see all her bridesmaids were styled by beautiful designs. You know. So, I mean, Nigeria is making us
come a long
proud.
way.
And we have one with us here, Obinna Samuel Omeruo, is a triple threat in illustration, style, and design. He is one of Nigeria's leading fashion illustrators for the brands Omeruo.ng and as drawn by Obi, having been acknowledged locally by top personalities such as Michelle Dede, Tiffany Amber, Emmy Casbet, Orange Couture, or Culture, rather Larry Da Silva, Ajayi, and also globally having his work cited by Nicey Nash, Shailene Woodley, Marc Jacobs, and even Anna Wintour. Obinna takes the principle of function and structure and applies them to art and style through his illustrations and fashion designs, respectively.
Wow.
In 2011, while pursuing his bachelor's degree, he began taking on styling projects such as the ad campaigns for PlusTvAfrica and video shoots for Yemi Alade. In 2015, he began teaching fashion illustration and sharing his self-trained knowledge with aspiring fashion designers and illustrator. Having tutored over 500 budding entrepreneurs and counting, Obinna is renowned as an inspiring tutor across Nigeria, both privately and in fashion schools such as the Fashion Academy, Kathy Anthony, Anna Jacob, and Just One. In 2016, the vision further blossomed into birthing of a fashion design brand focusing on redefining contemporary menswear on the continent with a growing clientele base of Nigeria's vibrant fashion forward youth and young at heart, even celebrity personalities as Ice Prince, Kenneth Omeruo, Mawuli Gavo, and Ike Onyema. The brand is on the quest to take the world with one outfit at a time. With each season's presentation, he aims to take his audience on a journey. He's always been on a focus on the fantasy aspect of fashion, but Obi is very, very much a product of needle thread and hard knocks industry of Nigeria. He built his own business slowly, working for decades from his apartment, creating clothes and nostalgia and memory of his childhood. In the rapid expansion of the fashion industry, Obinna Omeruo also designed and consults for both private and collaboratively with some fashion houses and fashion brands across the globe. He has a very lengthy profile. I had to read everything. And can I add this one? This is hot as it come. He just recently won the, can you break it down for us? The African Magic, right? What was it? AMVCA?
So, the African Magic
Yes.
design for the stars runway.
Yes. That one is the latest addition.
Congrats.
Obinna caught some hot millions. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
You know, I said it was important for us to drag you as it hot, you know,
I
because
know.
that was the first of its kind.
It's the first of its kind.
And I think they flashed some of the designs that you displayed on that runway. It was really, really beautiful.
Thank you
and
so
you
much.
had a very tough competition, right?
Stiff competition.
Very
to
stiff
be honest,
competition,
yes.
you know. But tell us, Obinna, welcome again.
Thank you.
Tell us about the fashion industry, right? I mean, you heard Uti, you heard Manny, you know, talk about how we've moved from, you know, calling all sorts of names. Now we are actually projecting a lot of homegrown brand. How does that make you feel as a fashion designer in Nigeria?
To be honest, it feels so amazing. Why? Because like she was talking about her story and I lived that story. You come home and your parents buy clothes for you. Where is it from? It's from the abroad. You can only get clothes when they travel, that type of situation. So it's something that it's good. It's such a good feeling when you grow up and you're seeing people wear your stuff. I'm sure a lot of designers can attest to that. You're seeing people, random people you might not even know. They're wearing your clothes, they're buying your clothes, and it's just like everywhere you go, people are enjoying that across Nigeria. So we don't really need to depend so much on the foreign market. Not that the foreign market is bad, but it's also good to have your own. There's nothing like having your own, you know.
You know, so you know how they say that what I ordered versus what I got? Because I see this happen a lot with fashion in Nigeria. Because I think Mani was asking a very, very interesting question that how would you feel if somebody takes because you are not just a fashion designer, you draw, you create designs, you know, and you put them out there on social media, and people just see those designs and they just want to replicate it. And you told her good luck. Why would you say that? You know?
So the thing with copywriting fashion, it's to be honest, you're going to get tired. We, as a young designer, I'm tired. So I can imagine, okay, for example, how do you think Versace would feel if they come to Nigeria and they stroll down the street and Versace. You know, it's going to be a very tough process that even the big wigs haven't really wrapped their head around. So why would I want to really stress myself with that, bother myself with that? If you like my design and if you feel you can reproduce my design, go ahead. I'm still going to produce, and I'm still going to keep thinking. The brain that brought that out is going to bring out something
absolutely.
else. So.
Okay.
And I think that you've touched on a fantastic point, because there's the confidence of understanding your gift and your talent that says, you know what, go for it. There's more where that came from. When Uwa was reading your profile, I have to salute you. Powerful profile. And a couple of names stood out for me. I mean, Emi Casbit, some amazing work with Ashoke and work here. But the one that I want to talk about is Anna Wintour.
Anna Wintour.
The dragon lady herself.
I heard it, I was like, what?
So, I'm just looking for gossip.
Oh my God! Wow.
Because you know, I mean, we watch the Met Gala and you see all these things happening. So, are we going to see some of your illustrations on? Because you know, when we're talking about Nisi Nash and Shailene Woodley, there's some interesting names happening there. So, you're headed in the right direction. But what does the future hold? Where are you looking to go? What's the goal for you?
Well, you mentioned some of them. I would definitely not mind having an Omeruo piece on the red carpet at the Met Gala. So, amen, God, you're hearing that. But yeah, I've loved the red carpet ever since I was little. I follow up with the shows. You know, I always keep up with who's wearing what, and I make slight illustrations of my favorites, let me put it that way, and I put them out there, and I tag, well, thanks to Instagram, I tag the celebrities, and they're like, oh, nice, this is nice, and they repost it, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's nice. Like, I didn't know it was that easy to reach you guys, you know, but it was something nice. And about the Anna Wintour viewing, so it was thanks to Auntie Lanre da Silva. Yes, so she had a presentation organized by Vogue and a couple of big wigs, and so she made illustrations of her clothes and had presentations of her clothes and had an installation that Anna Wintour viewed. So that's how that happened.
Fantastic. Great to hear stories of paying it forward, because I mean, Larry, that's so she's like,
Oh,
yeah. Awesome.
That's very, very good.
You know what? Let's take a break because it's like it's getting interesting, but we are losing time. We'll be right back. Stay with us. All right, thanks. If you just tuned in, we're having an amazing chat with Obinna Samuel Omeruo on changing the face of fashion in Nigeria. Now, please, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation, send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-4663. You can also tweet at us at Wayshow, after one with the hashtag Wayshow. All right, so Manny Money, you had a question.
Yes, so this is my question. I heard everything Uti says. I share the same views, and I love the way the fashion industry in Nigeria is evolving. And, you know, I can only imagine where we're going to be tomorrow. So even though we've come to this place, there's the good, there's the bad, there's the ugly. So the ugly is a part of what I ordered versus what I I'm getting, you know, there are still some designers that still don't give you what you want. That's one of them. But what I'm really interested in, you know, hearing from you about is the fact that, yes, we know that some of these designers are very good. We know that the fashion industry is doing big things, but the prices are not good. So you see, my sister turned 40 last year, and we're going to, you know, dress well, wear the big dresses, you know. So we call the big designers. And then one dress cost ₦1 million, 1.5 million naira. I think it's absurd. So if we were still going to be buying Gucci and Prada and everything, we wouldn't even spend that much. So why are these people charging us an arm and a leg for a dress?
You would spend that much and more if you were buying Gucci.
If I'm to be honest, you would spend much more, you know. But okay, now I cannot say that I'm not in the system and I don't know what is involved in production. Now, if you're doing production properly, it might be expensive. If you're meeting your targets on time, if you have some type of machines, it might be expensive. Now, it's a case of, well, let me just say, going for what you can afford. Because all boils down to quality at the end of the day. So if I'm giving out a certain type of value and quality, I would probably charge for it. Let's be honest, you know. So where I would have an issue with is if I say I'm giving this type of value, but it doesn't meet up. Now, if the value meets up, why not if not? But if it doesn't meet up, then I'm going to have an issue with, okay, you charge so much for so little. I would have a problem with
but
that.
what you're saying is that some people would enjoy these new designs that we have in Nigeria, and some people would never enjoy it.
Now, let's be honest. Let's be honest, some people would enjoy and some people would not. Now, going back to those days of buying clothes from abroad, some people did enjoy, you know, the different grades. So there's something in fashion called grading. It's not like it's a copying, but okay, that this is an original stone, an original jewel, and I'm buying a plastic jewel. They look exactly the same, but those who know, exactly, the costing is different. Those who know. So I would just say it's a free world and everybody can cut their coats to their size.
To their material. But I was going to ask though, because we're talking about the changing the face of fashion in Nigeria. So outside, okay, why I like NAC, for instance, they are not designers. What they're doing, they're mass producing different kinds of clothes that you can walk into a store to pick. So I think where the pricing would be is, you know, people like you are the kind of couture, how not to speak the English, you know, for couture. Red carpets, you know, do elegant events. I called somebody today that I'm going for AMVCA. They say styling is, let me not say for air. I say for what? Am I the one collecting award? I say, please don't worry. I will wear my clothes from my wardrobe. You know, but so I need to understand, how do we plan to do this? Because again, whether we like it or not, there's still a huge market. There's still a huge market gap where I want to start seeing that you walk into regular stores, regular boutiques and all of that, and you see ready-to-wear Nigerian designers all over the place, because the market is here, but some of those ready-to-wear, it is really shabbily done. I can't even touch it with a long pole, right? But very few have gotten it right. Like what what's it called? Uti's wearing, what I'm wearing. They've gotten it right, because you've had this thing for a very long time and it seems like I just bought it today. So how do we start to change that and have more Nigerian brands across all price range and also all pockets?
Yeah. So the thing is, there are so many designers doing great things out there and brands doing great things out there. But balancing the books at the end of the day might not be as convenient. So that's what creates the gap in the market. So you're spending so much on like production and all, but it takes your price high. Now, how do we calm down a bit is when things are generally good. I wouldn't have so much issue maybe pricing a piece that I spent hours doing with a generator like I would if there was power, and if power was good and if power was cheap. You know, if it's an all-round situation, you can't have you can't eat your cake and have it at the same time, or you can't have your cake
Like you
and
can
eat
eat it.
yeah, at the same time. If things are expensive generally, it's going to be expensive for everybody, and some people might not enjoy that. So if this is a plea to the government, so you can help us help you better, because I'm sure I can join hands with every designer and say they want to see their stuff everywhere. They want to see their stuff on everybody, you know. It's not a thing of the rich versus the poor, or, you know, everybody wants to look good and see other people look good and doing good, you know. So if the system was much better, I'm sure prices and quality would be even, and it will be much lower.
So I'm going to move away from the quality conversation because that is a whole show by itself. I want to touch on your other talent, which I think is the most interesting, illustration. Now, I see these gorgeous, gorgeous illustrations on Instagram, and you know, in my mind, I think, did you always love to draw? Did you always have the talent? It's a multifaceted question. So let me let me ask the second half of it as well. It almost seems today that every designer can draw. Is that true? So do you do this for other designers? How does that process work? Maybe just give us some insight.
Okay, so I was viewing the screen and viewing some old illustrations. Anyway, yes, I draw for my brand. I draw for other brands as well. Now, to answer one of the questions, not every designer in particular might be able to draw.
Okay.
So that's where my service comes in. So they have their creative process and all, but we just help them put it down on paper. It's always easier to move forward when you have like a plan. So the illustrations are the plan in the fashion industry. So we're looking at that, we're working with what we can see to make sure that what comes to life is exactly as it was planned out to be.
You know, it says that you've trained over 500 students in this illustration business and counting, right?
I can't even keep count, to be honest.
You know, so how profitable is it? You know, so for someone that, for instance, is good with the pencil, right? Can the person say, you know what, I'm going to stick to being an illustrator all my life, and you know, how profitable is it for young people? So you don't really, you can be, it's a value chain.
Yeah.
So you don't need to be the designer, but you can have, you can plug and play in the design industry. So how profitable is it?
It is very profitable, but requires a lot of hard work and dedication. It's not something that you just wake up and boom. Do you get? Like the pictures were showing some old illustrations, those were 2010. And now I'm looking at them like,
Wow, 2010.
Did I just do that?
did I actually do that, you know? Because you get better the more you work on your gift, on your craft, you know? So I would say to anyone out there who wants to be an illustrator, yes, it's good money, but it's hard work. Not just physically, but mental work. You're thinking, what's the next design? What's the next this? How do I make it look better? How do I do this? A lot of mental work goes into it as well. Not everybody has to be the designer, in quotes, quote and unquote, the celebrity designer, you know. And that brings me to another point in moving fashion forward. We need to come to a place where it's an industry of different departments. So not everybody has to go the route of being the designer, being the CEO, and you know, the business owner, the front runner. There are so many levels, and everybody works together as a team. I explained this to my team as well. We're a family. I'm not the best at this. That is why I have you here. And if everybody begins to understand that, you know what, I might not be able to do this on my own, but together we can go much further. If we start to apply this into the industry and, into the Nigerian system as a whole, we would move a lot, much more forward together, faster.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so as nice as our clothes look right now, the designers and everything, we still have this mindset that our Ankara, our natives, are for like dress down days or weddings. How do we ensure that Nigerians wearing Nigerian clothes to work without that look of unseriousness, like wearing an Ankara to work on a Monday.
So
Yeah, it's changing the fashion.
That's a tough and tricky one, to be honest, because this has come with it has come with so much. It's generations. We've become so used to, work has to be shirt, trouser.
Sure.
In fact, white shirt, black trouser, and jacket on top. This is what we have come to know based on the influences we derived from the West. So I think we're at a point in time where, well, maybe starting from individuals to organizations, we need to redefine ourselves.
What corporate means.
What corporate means, what our identities mean. I can have a very serious IT company and say, you know what, guys, we're wearing t-shirts all through the week. And we kill our targets, we kill our goals. We need to come to a place where fashion is, yes, you can perceive someone by how they dress, but don't stop there. There can be something upstairs. So you should give that room for interacting with the mind and not just the appearance.
Yeah, I think that's an awesome question because, I mean, I used to work for a company where we were allowed to wear Ankara Monday to Friday. So it's really about changing dress codes and policies, but it starts with changing mindsets of leadership.
Exactly.
But given that we're talking about the business of fashion, I want to come to that side of the conversation. A lot of the thought processes for us when we think about fashion in Nigeria is still on the haute couture side. It's still on the one person, one outfit. You know, that's how design is. But if we talk about the true billion-dollar industry that fashion is, we're talking ready to wear.
Yes.
And I'd like to hear your thoughts around, because there are some brands today in Nigeria who are doing good quality ready to wear. But when you were talking about the value chain, that just sort of struck with me because I'm like, these are the areas where we can really see exponential growth in the industry. So do you have any insight into what it takes today to kick off a sizable ready to wear fashion line in today's Nigeria and today's economy?
To do that, it would take a lot of money and, well, talent, but a lot of money and a lot of mental work, because I wouldn't say the minds are not there that are thinking that way. Also, the talent is there, but a lot of times people come to different bottlenecks based on our system yet again, you know. So we have to, find different ways to overcome those bottlenecks. And what are those bottlenecks? You might have issues setting up a large-scale factory because, it's this person's land, or it's one thing. It's always one thing or the other. But I know and I believe that there are so many different ways, and I'm sure there are people out there who are thinking that way, that there are so many different ways we can move this industry forward by giving room. And when I say giving room, there are going to be some changes that would need to be made in terms of maybe importing, less importing.
I was going to say that fabric,
exactly.
Because if you want to talk mass production, help me out here.
Yeah.
Obinna, we don't have the right quality fabrics.
No,
most of these fabrics that
they all come in.
Yeah, most of we are all importing our fabrics, and that goes to Mani's question about costing. It can't come cheap because
like we've been on this table and it's all going round. It all boils down at the end of the day to the system and it's costing at the end of the day. I wouldn't buy an expensive fabric and you expect me to, sorry, I don't want to call an amount, but sew it for you and make it look nice at a very low rate.
Yeah.
I'm not even counting the hours that were put into the work, but I'm just, even the fabric alone is so much, you know.
And even for the cotton, for instance, now, if we were going to mass produce this dress, we will need a factory that has that can cut 1,000 pieces per. Yes, you just program. That was what Milola was saying. That at some point she was thinking, how do I move my factory probably to Turkey or something? Because it seems like you don't have the machineries here in Nigeria to be able to mass produce, because she's tired of doing
but
one thing.
What that was where I was
Yes.
trying to get at, in that the conversation where we talk about the business of fashion, people need to see beyond the design element. So we outsource. So if you go to Turkey, if you go to China,
But if we're outsourcing, we're not taking our income out.
no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
We are.
in terms of now insourcing, rather than you saying, I see the business of fashion as having the talent to produce, why don't I bring investors together and create the factory? So you bring me your illustrations and I mass produce.
Thank you.
And you pay me and you go and run your ready-to-wear line and you worry about your creativity.
Thank you.
So the question was to
Wow.
try and say, how do we broaden the scope of understanding that the fashion industry is not just about the creative side. There's a very real business side to it. That
Uti, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
That deal with the numbers.
Because when you are saying it now, it's like
That
we should
deal
just
with
go
the
and look for
numbers.
investors.
yeah, because
be
you have
honest.
to, because some of the conversations that I've had, my own experience of the fashion space has been on the buying side, on the business side, which is why I say, and conversations that we've had with brands abroad is always, you don't want to buy Nigerian, and they say because there's no consistency, and this is what happens because you are hand cutting.
Yeah.
Even if you're cutting by pattern,
Yeah.
you
no
can't
matter
replicate
how you do it.
Exactly,
There's going
right?
to be some glitch.
Alterations.
Yeah,
right.
and that is what an international buyer will be looking for. It's the consistency. I mean, even as great as NAC is, if you look closely, you probably find some of those
The
inconsistencies
difference, yes.
that would not allow our brands to fly. So you find that most of the brands who have that international exposure. I remember reading about Emi Casbit when he did the first Ashoke line, phenomenal. But it's only on an haute couture basis, because even the weavers, he found them somewhere in Osun State or something, they're weaving on the traditional mills. That Ashoke is not going to come
You
out
cannot do
exactly
it
the
like
same every single
twice,
time.
yeah.
But you can understand that from an haute couture point of view. But when it comes
And
to
then
ready to
the
When it comes to
delay
ready
as
to
well.
wear, you need a lot more
Yeah.
machinery and manpower. Until we get the right investing, like you said, I don't see
you're
it
not
But do
happening.
you
So
see the fashion industry, young guys like you, coming together? If they were to be an investor, Uti and I went to look for an investor. We've created a factory. We are coming there.
Oh wow.
You know, but do you see that people would be open to that?
I'm sure people are like waiting.
I think so.
Waiting, because they're in life, one thing you see is that some people have the know-how, they don't have the means. Some people have the means, they don't have the
Yeah.
know-how. But how do these people connect? A lot of people are just eager to find that person, that click, that connection, to push the business forward.
Absolutely. Manny, have a comment.
Okay.
So what's next? So how do you release your, what I say, is it seasonal, your collections?
How are you going to be doing it?
Well,
But
the
who
way
are your
I've been
clients?
doing
Are you for guys alone, or you do guys and girls? Because I still
That's
love
a
my
tricky-
joggers that I bought from
That's
many
a tricky
many years
question.
ago.
Yes, so I've come to a place where I just focus on I focus on menswear, and I help women who can jump into menswear. Let's just keep it.
I
at
like that one that had like a jogger that had
Yeah.
a lace on one leg.
Yes.
So those ones we
yes,
can buy
yes,
now.
Yes,
as
definitely.
Okay, so we do it
definitely.
pre-order, or you have them ready to wear
No, we would have to pre-order because it was made just for
the
the
runway.
competition.
Oh, I really love that one. I like it. I'm going to order that. Okay.
Good evening, my dear beautiful sisters of What Are You Saying #ways, talking about changing the face of fashion in Nigeria. It is very simple and important. People want to be current and updated when it comes to fashion. You will be amazed at what people wear these days. Their quality of fashion has dropped. They really dress anyhow. Sister Uwa is correct. My dear sister Uti and Mani are real fashionistas. We love you.
Thank you, Daniel.
We
You
need
don't even need to
people-
tell us.
We need people to create awareness concerning fashion with the help of my dear brother in the studio, Obinna. Why people travel abroad to buy clothes is because they really want to be current in fashion, because they feel that Nigeria is not current. So you can't blame them. My name is Daniel Ilo, with regular.
Thank
Fine.
you, Daniel. So on that note, I'm going to be ordering. Please patronize our brother. This one is our own. It's
Buy
close
Nigerian,
to home.
yeah.
Buy Nigerian. But the good thing about Obinna is that I've seen your designs. I've seen what you've done. There's a bit of finesse and quality to it, right? So it's not just patronizing. Even for us, even while we are begging and soliciting soliciting, because when the vice president was saying buy Nigeria to grow Nigeria, we must, for us to sustain food security, that we must grow what we eat in this country. It's the same thing. So we we are also soliciting and begging the designers, please, when we order, let us receive let us receive
what you ordered.
Not what we did not order.
Thank you so much, Obinna.
You're
We had a
welcome.
fantastic conversation. Thank you, Manny.
Thank you
Thank
for
you,
having
Uti.
me.
Now, before we go, ensure you follow us on Instagram at PlusTvAfrica. You can interact with us further, drop a comment, and more importantly, follow all our engagements. Like, share, invite your families and friends to watch and follow the conversation. Dan, we need you to bring more viewers for us. So I'm watching you guys live from Lafia. Oh, thank you so much. All right. In case you missed today's Quote Heritage again, clothes are like a good meal, a good movie, and great pieces of music. It is just fantastic. We'll see you guys on Monday at 8 p.m. as we bring another great conversation to your screen. Enjoy. Bye-bye.